Hey everyone, you're watching Andy's Fishing and Wild Cook. Today I'm at my local oyster bed to get some oysters. Now, if you don't like oysters natural or raw, this is the one for you. This is the video you want to be watching. If you ask me, this is the best way to have oysters. It's Oysters Rockefeller. You'll notice it's a bit rainy today, and this is the sort of thing anyone can do as long as you're near the coast and you have oysters on pretty much any day. You just got to pick low tide. It's just on low tide now, and oh, there goes a little fish. What I do is I find a bay, and you want to find the sheltered part of the bay with rocks or mangroves. If it's a really exposed rocky shore, the oyster's going to be very small. If your prevailing wind is northeast, you're going to find the oysters on the southeast open side, so the leeward side of where the weather's coming from. That's where your biggest oysters are going to be. We're into a few oysters here. They're not really big, and I'll just show you the tools I'm using. I've got a couple of butter knives. The one here, the short one, I've just cut the end off it and put a little point there, so I use that one as a bit of a wedging prying thing. And this one here I'll slip in and I cut the muscle, which I'll show you all that in a second. So let's get to where the best oysters are. There's a nice one here, nice one there. Probably I want some little bit bigger than those. You tend to find all the good oysters in like a certain area. There's a sweet spot. So here we have an oyster. Sometimes they're really hard to see. This one's probably about this big here. They can be covered in all sorts of mud. So the hinge is at the back here, that's the small part. Got a rock and just break that hinge. There we go. Lever it open just a little bit, and then I get this knife here, the thin sharpened one, and I cut the muscle off the rock. There we go. Perfect. And there we have oyster number one. Beautiful fat oyster. Let's get a few more of those. Here's a nice one. The tide's actually just turned. You can see there's the oyster, and here's the hinge. We'll pop that in there. And same thing, get the knife really low in there, and look at that, couldn't be easier. Always give them a little wash. There we go, beautiful. Got my raincoat on at the moment. It's a little bit of rain's coming in. That doesn't stop an oysterer. So, and I'll just show you quickly. I have actually, it's a butter knife, but I have sharpened the front and the back edge, so it's more like I can go shoop, and that's the muscle there. You can just cut the muscle straight off the oyster, so we don't leave anything behind. Here we go, there's a good looking oyster right there. Normally you get a dozen oysters, but they just won't fit on my plate, they're that big. So we'll just do, I think it's 8 I've got now. Look at that, that's a beauty. You get 3 oysters to the palm of your hand, and I've got, pretty big hands. I don't like to take too many oysters from the same spot, so I'm just going to go for a little bit of a wander and get a few from another spot as well. While I've got you here, the reason I'm on foot today is because my boat's in the shop. It's blowing 20 knots and it's raining, and it's not really nice weather, so hopefully next week I'll have my boat back again. It's going to cost somewhere between $300 and $1,200, but whoa, that's a bit slippery. I guess that's what comes with having a boat, is you got to fix it every now and then. And let me know if you want me to do some like shore fishing, jetty fishing, beach fishing. Just suggest them in the comments. I still reply to every comment on every video, so yeah, let me know, and that way I know what you guys want and I can give you what you desire. Anyway, I think there's a good spot just here, just as the rain's starting again. Oh well, tropical Queensland, that's what you get. You quite often find the ones that are hardest to see are the biggest. There's the hinge. Get my rock. Pry him open, and there we go. So, yeah, getting oysters is really quite easy and fun for the whole family. Now the law is you have to eat these on the spot, so I've brought all my cooking gear with me, and we're going to prepare them right here. I think, yeah, we'll get one more to fill that space there, and then we've got enough. So that's 3, 6, 8 oysters. That's a big plate of oysters. We'll just get one more. Have a look at the size of this oyster here. That is the size of my hand. Check that out. Wow. I have seen these diving or snorkeling. They are a massive oyster. Anyway, let's keep finding our spot. It's a little wet, but it's a nice temperature. I reckon just up here. Here's something very interesting. I'm just heading up here to cook the oysters, and this water's running where water shouldn't be running. I'm going to say this is fresh water. Let's try it. Yeah, that is fresh water. It's coming out of here. These are oysters, and it's coming, look at this, yeah, here it is, there it is. It's coming through the gravel there. So this here is drinkable water. Okay, we found a nice spot. We're gonna get our little kitchen ready. The first thing we'll do is put some rock salt on our plate. Then we'll get each oyster and we'll cut them off the top shell. Flip them over so they're nice, and just place them on here for now. There we have our oysters all prepared on a plate. Then we get some parsley and a spring onion and chop those finely. I've done oysters a few different ways, and I think this is actually the tastiest. I do like oysters Kilpatrick, but this takes it to another level. Then on each of the oysters we sprinkle a little bit of the green stuff, just enough to cover the oyster meat. And as you can tell, it's raining again. It's probably going to rain all week, so hopefully I can make some more videos. Don't let that deter your enjoyment of this video. It's actually quite nice being out here. It's nice and cool. It's not hot like it can be, so there we go. We've got them all covered nicely. Then into a little bowl I grate some Parmesan cheese. On about, I'm going to say two tablespoons of Parmesan. Then to the Parmesan we add about a tablespoon of panko crumbs. Then we get a little bit of olive oil, maybe a teaspoon and a half, maybe 2 teaspoons. Then we want to mix the Parmesan, panko crumb and oil. Just give that a nice little stir. Then we get a forkful and put that on each oyster. Put it right in the middle, nice little mound. Oh, they're looking pretty good actually. This is gourmet cooking. You can do almost anywhere. I'm on a beach. It's raining. It's a little bit windy, but it should work. Now the last thing I do before I cook them is I've got a little bit of black sambuca. You want something that's a little bit aniseedy, and just the tiniest little dribble on each one. This will add a really interesting depth of flavour. To cook this, we're going to use like a camping toaster rack and some aluminium foil. And what we're going to do is we're going to create ourselves a little oven, or a grill. Grill's probably a better term for this. Just put it down like so and wrap it around. Fold the ends in like that. That'll keep it nice and solid. And as you can see, we can see right through that. Look at that. Now here's the tricky part. We're going to get the oysters and we're going to slide them into our little oven. I've decided to go with 2 oysters in the oven. I think 3 might be pushing it. We've only got a blowtorch for heat. We'll blowtorch them. You can feel the heat coming out the other end. There we go. Woo, that's actually quite hot on the other side there. Okay, it's a little bit hard to see what's going on there because I've made it so small. It looks okay. We'll grab the first 2 out and see what they look like. Here we go, that's the first two. They actually look pretty darn good. So we'll do the others like that as well. So for the second two, I've actually inclined the oven so hot air rises, and that means there'll be better heat flow. Yeah, there's quite a nice bit of heat there. I think there we have it. That's the last two done. Ooh, look at that. Now you normally do this in an oven or a grill, but I'm the wild cook, so I'm doing it out here. Delicious. They look pretty darn good. You've got to have a squeeze of lemon on these things. Squeeze of lemon. Ooh, and they're actually quite warm. I can feel the heat coming out from under the plate. So where's my fork? And I'll just add a little tiny bit of cracked pepper. Probably doesn't need it. Salt and pepper this is. Salt and pepper combined. Ooh, let's try. This is a nice one. Lots of crusty baked bread and parmesan on there. That is a really interesting complex flavour. Wow. That's like cheesy, a little bit of oil bread, oysters definitely coming through nicely, and that little hint of aniseed. Oh, yeah, these are great. Whoops. Yeah, this rain's setting in. But I tell you what, you've got to give Oysters Rockefeller a go. That one's really tasted like the ocean. A little bit salty there. And look at the brown colour on that. That cheese and the breadcrumb on that one, particularly crunchy. And you get that caramelized cheese, is that the right word? I'm not sure. You know, when cheese gets that little crust on it, and it's really, really tasty. That's what I'm getting on that one. Interestingly, I thought the parsley would overpower it, but the parsley and spring onion is just like a little refreshing tang in the end there. Great. And totally recyclable. Just leave it here on the beach. That is really good. And that rain is really setting in. Anyway guys, hopefully my boat will get repaired soon. And I really want to do a overnight video. Two nights even. But not in this weather. So I'll have to wait for the weather to come good. And wait for my boat to get fixed. These are amazing. Wow. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to watch more, I've got a really cool survival hike video, a 4-day hike up there, and I've got a really cool coastal forage video over here. I upload a new video every week, and I'd really like to thank all my Patreon supporters. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.